Up with KREM begins now.
7:30 this morning. We want to calm your fears this morning about the coronavirus outbreak and bring you the facts that you need to know.
Here's the view outside as we kick off your Tuesday morning. Dry skies, but definitely a good amount of cloud cover as we start the morning. We'll talk about what's to come, including the possibility of some snow this weekend.
And also this morning, we're hearing from Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders. He sat down with our sister station in Seattle ahead of Washington's presidential primary. 7:30 this morning. Thank you for joining us on Up with KREM. Good morning, everyone. It kind of was alarming to feel the temperature this morning because there's like one of those billboards that has the temperature up every morning. I don't check anything other than your forecast. So when I saw it, I was like, are we really this low? And it's going to continue, right?
Yeah, it's going to get colder. I mean, by the time we get to the weekend, Friday night into Saturday and Saturday night into Sunday, we could see temperatures in the teens once again.
Yikes.
So back down to 19 degrees and then down to 12 degrees for Saturday night into Sunday. Afternoon highs for both Saturday and Sunday are in the 20s and 30s. So it's going to be a cold weekend, but we continue with this trend of mild conditions out there up until we hit the weekend. So today, your Tuesday, Wednesday, and then your Thursday, mild, dry out there. Here's the view on satellite radar. Just a couple snow flurries to note, nothing accumulating and nothing widespread. You can see how we do see some activity that takes place this afternoon and this evening, but the majority of the region is just going to be under cloud cover. Some snow is going to be across the northern Cascades, including over Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass. Same situation over the North Idaho Panhandle and into western Montana, but as you can see in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, we're staying just with those cloudy conditions with maybe some showers in the form of rain, some very light showers that come through late Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. Hour by hour, we're expecting a high of 50 degrees today. That is just in line with average, if not just a few degrees above it. Again, those clouds thicken and wind speeds pick up. Notice those southwesterly winds in the 10 to 15 mile per hour range as your sustained speeds. So it will be a breezy afternoon and evening, but the majority of intense weather, right? The dramatic drop in temperatures, the possibility for accumulating snow, really high wind, all of that is reserved for your Friday night into your Saturday. We'll have more details on that in just a bit, Joshua.
Evan, thank you very much. 7:32 this morning, and Bernie Sanders spoke with our Seattle sister station just a day before the Democratic primary, which of course is today. In the interview, the Vermont senator says that the coronavirus is not slowing down him or his campaign. He also used the opportunity to make his case about Medicare for all and also called the race between him and Joe Biden very tight.
We're taking on Wall Street and the corporate establishment who are putting a lot of money into Joe Biden's campaign. But I think the good news for me is that now that we have basically a two-person race, the distinctions between Joe and myself are becoming clear.
The Washington Secretary of State's office says nearly 1 million ballots have been returned so far. That's already more voters than returned their ballots in the year 2016. Meanwhile, Idaho voters will have a few options in today's primary election: the Republican, Democratic, and the Constitution Party. According to party leaders, the Constitution Party is focused on returning to the Constitution. Now, their goal is to move away from political strife, and the candidates in that party range from a family medicine doctor to a financial advisor. Unaffiliated voters can vote in the Constitution Party primary today. Now, in Idaho this morning, a bill banning transgender women from competing in high school and college sports is one step closer to becoming law. House Bill 500 would allow only biological women to compete in women's sports across the state. Critics of the bill say it is transphobic, while supporters claim that the law is aimed at fairness in competition. That bill is now headed to the Senate floor, where amendments to the bill could be discussed. And a new report out of Ethiopia blames Boeing for a pair of deadly overseas plane crashes. Ethiopian investigators say Boeing 737 MAX jets had a faulty design, which led to a pair of crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia last year. Of course, this week marks 1 year since the 737 jets were grounded after those crashes. The report says that the MAX jet's MCAS software kicked in 4 times, which made it more difficult for pilots to control the planes and ultimately led to them losing control. The final report out of Ethiopia is expected to be ready later this year. And that's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag UpWithKREM on social media. Coming up on 7:35 this morning, and we continue to track breaking news. An investigation is underway this morning after authorities say they found a body in the road in North Spokane County. Spokane Major Crimes detectives are now on scene near Pittsburgh and Farwell. That is the scene of the street closure. And because of this, Meade schools right now are on a 2-hour delay. Of course, our Nicole Hernandez will be live with the latest. She's live now. Our Nicole Hernandez joining us with the latest information from the scene. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Joshua. So I was able to just speak with Mark Gregory with the Spokane Sheriff's Department, and he told us that it was an AMR team that actually discovered this body in the road. Now, they weren't called to the scene. They were just in the area. They found this body, and then that's when this investigation started around 3:30 this morning. So now that we've got some more light, we're seeing here there's a lot of cars, a lot of tape. We have the yellow tape just here on Farwell, and then beyond a little bit further, some more red tape marking off an even smaller zone here. So again, Farwell is closed between Pittsburgh and Newport Highway, and Meade School District is on a 2-hour delay. So Mark Gregory did tell us that they are going to get this investigation finished up by the time that 2-hour delay is over. They're working with the Meade School District to make sure that everyone in this area can get to school when schools do open. He said that at this point, it's just a matter of how big the scene is, how much evidence they have to collect to figure out exactly how long it will take. But he's hoping by that 9:30 mark, around the end of that 2-hour delay for school districts, that they will be able to reopen this road. But for now, everyone in this area is being asked to just stay away from this area. We have car after car being turned around by sheriff volunteers because this entire road is closed, and it is a decent roadway for people. A lot of people come here typically in the morning, so we have a lot of cars being turned away. So if you are listening, if you do know that this is happening, make sure you're finding an alternate route before getting to this point. It's Farwell and Pittsburgh all the way to Farwell and Newport Highway. Live in North Spokane, Hernandez.
Thank you very much, Nicole. And of course, new information continuing to develop all morning long. We will bring you updates on air and online as it comes into our newsroom. 7:37 now this morning, and we want to continue separating the facts from the fear about the coronavirus to show you that there is no need to panic. This morning, there are at least 162 confirmed cases of the virus in Washington state, and at least 22 people have died. There are still no confirmed cases here in Spokane County. King County is reporting that the most number of cases is at they are reporting the most number at 116 cases. Half of all of the cases throughout the state are people over the age of 60. The Grand Princess cruise ship carrying at least 21 people who were infected with the coronavirus is finally docked in Oakland, California. This morning, American passengers are being quarantined on military bases, and international passengers are being flown home.
Individuals will not come in contact with general public.
Now, with over a dozen confirmed cases of coronavirus on board, the ship was stranded at sea for days, and passengers were kept in their rooms.
This is our stateroom where we've been banished for the last 4 days.
Meanwhile, countries around the world continue to take drastic measures to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Ireland has canceled all St. Patrick's Day parades, and Israel is quarantining anyone who comes into the country for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control are warning colleges and universities to hold off on their study abroad programs. Some schools have already taken steps to bring students back stateside. Gonzaga has suspended their popular study abroad program in Florence. Washington State University has asked all of their study abroad students in Italy to return home. And at Eastern Washington, all travel abroad programs are on hold for their students. 7:39 now, and that term fan, when it comes to being a sports fan, obviously comes from the term fanatic, which makes sense when you see them pack stadiums and arenas to cheer on their favorite teams. But as the spread of the coronavirus continues, sports organizations are making changes to keep their players, their staff, and their fans safe. Now, we've seen a few big sporting events canceled so far, even larger in Italy, where the Italian Olympic Committee, which oversees all sports in the country, has suspended sporting events altogether until April 3rd. Many of their sporting events have taken place without fans in the crowds. Meanwhile, the BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells, closer to home, that's one of the top tennis tournaments in the world. That was canceled on Sunday over COVID-19 concerns. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, the National Basketball Association, and the National Hockey League have issued a joint statement yesterday announcing all 4 leagues are limiting access to clubhouses and locker rooms as the coronavirus outbreak continues to spread. Now, the NBA sent teams a memo on Friday asking them to prepare to play games without fans if necessary. 3-time NBA champion and Los Angeles Laker LeBron James was not fond of that idea.
We play games without the fans?
Yeah. Like you.
It's impossible. I ain't playing. If I ain't got the fans in the crowd, that's what I play for. I play for my teammates, I play for the fans. That's what it's all about. So if I show up to an arena and ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing. So they can do what they want to do.
And James is not the only NBA player weighing in on the coronavirus outbreak and what it could mean for the game. The NBA has also advised players, by the way, to use fist bumps instead of high fives with fans and to avoid taking items like pens, balls, and jerseys to autograph. Now back to those players in the NBA. CJ McCollum, for example, from the Portland Trail Blazers, has been vocal about the coronavirus and about spreading awareness about not spreading germs. He says he's decided not to sign autographs for fans until further notice because of the ongoing outbreak. Meanwhile, Kemba Walker from the Boston Celtics says he won't let the outbreak affect his interaction with fans, but that he will be more aware.
I'm pretty sure I'm still going to sign some autographs, of course, but I don't know, maybe I should walk around my own market or something.
Now this morning, we want you to weigh in as you can see footage from what it looks like in other arenas around the world, people literally cleaning off chairs in preparation of games. But we want to know, do you think that sporting events without fans helps prevent the spread of the coronavirus? Let us know what you think right now by voting on our KREM 2 mobile app. It's pretty close to being split right now. Basically, it's been pretty split all morning, but it looks like a slight majority of you saying yes, you do think that sporting events without fans would help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. I think this is interesting because we've never really seen a joint statement from the major sports organizations like this. There's so many questions about, you know, we've talked about the gatherings of 5,000 people, and there's so many instances when that could happen around the country.
I think there's a fair split of people. Understandable why it's 50-50 on there. I think people maybe at home still want to watch the games, but people playing, the athletes themselves, openly say there's not as much energy when you're playing in a stadium that's completely empty. Also understandable that in Spokane County there are no confirmed cases. So, you know, I think when March Madness comes to Spokane, we're still wondering, by that time, will there have been confirmed cases? Is it still going to be as big of a concern or a bigger concern? So a lot of questions still on the table as we lead up to March Madness. But I think it's understandable that right now we just take a little bit of caution. We're aware of our surroundings. We know what's going on. Wash your hands, like they talked about. That's the number one thing. And then just see if this turns into an even bigger situation or if we've been able to prevent that massive spread that we were worried about.
And really quick, I have no problem admitting that I have a baseball trip coming up later this year, and I am not canceling my plans right now. There we go. But I am keeping an eye out on the advisories in those states because that's the most important thing. Is just being factually prepared.
All right. You heard it here. Joshua, he's going.
7:43 this morning, and Ham on Regal is back. We're going to give you a look at the longest running PTA show in the country coming up after the break. We are live at Ferris High School where parents are getting ready to dress up in costume and get their singing voices ready, all to embarrass their kids for a good cause.